And I have to say, one of the big stories, though, that has actually come out about your own company, about LinkedIn and the breach in tens of thousands of passwords. I mean, how has that affected you guys?
Well, I'll tell you, from where I sit, looking over LinkedIn Today, which is our social news product, we saw that become a huge story on LinkedIn Today, and it was a major topic of concern among people who were on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The story was widely shared, widely read, and I can tell you that, everyone at LinkedIn is taking it incredibly seriously and trying to figure out what the next steps are. So.
Right, what the fallout is from this, essentially.
How to deal with it, how do you protect, the members.
Okay. Dan, so the top stories that we've seen, I mean, they vary in subjects, and I think one of them that was interesting, which I want to start with, which is the number 5, is Mary Meeker's latest presentation, and some of the highlights, because some of the highlights about the web have been pretty interesting coming out from what she said.
Yeah, Mary Meeker, every year she makes this presentation, and every year it just gets an incredible amount of attention, deservedly so. She basically said, look, there are...
And we just want to make sure people know Mary Meeker is a partner at Kleiner Perkins.
Exactly, and she was an analyst during the first internet boom, and she has for a long time made predictions that sometimes are right on and sometimes are a little bit off. She's saying now the two big themes that came out of her presentation were, number one, mobile is going to keep growing. 1.1 billion people on mobile internet right now, 2.3 billion people on the web, and you're looking at about 8% year-over-year growth. But mobile is the faster growing part of it. Another part of her presentation said, but how do you actually make money off of it? And this is the big, and this actually ties in with another
big Facebook question.
It's exactly,
yes.
The big Facebook question. So how do you make money off of mobile? She had some signs of optimism by looking at Japan. She pointed out a couple Japanese gaming companies that have been able to raise their CPMs and actually make more money than they make on the web through their mobile games. She held that out as a sign that there's a potential to actually make money over mobile. But people have to figure out what these business models are. They're not the same business models as on the web.
Okay, all right, well, interesting. Well, that does tie into the number 2
exactly.
most essentially exchanged stories on LinkedIn, which is Facebook disappearing by 2020. Is that right?
That's the headline. But the actual message is a little bit less bleak, and it basically says Facebook will not be as dominant by 2020 as it is today. That Facebook will essentially become like Yahoo or AOL, still major properties, but not nearly the powerhouse that they were in their prime. And this is Eric Jackson, an analyst, saying this is going to happen. And Eric Jackson, and you've had him on here many times
several
before.
times.
And Eric's main point is that Facebook is not going to ever get mobile. That companies that do great on the web, like Facebook, cannot make that leap to mobile.
Okay, and quickly, Dan, another one is about what leaders can learn from kindergartners.
Right. Apologize. It's a pretty simple one. Hey, when you mess up, don't make up grand excuses. Actually come in with an apology. Tell people why you did something wrong. It's a very simple message. One, it's harder to carry out than it is to remember.